on the omoplata, the top knee needs to be heavy and pressing down for the most part. We would like for him to be out at an angle, not like straight over me. Because even if I get an omoplata, if his head is directly over my head, he's going to be able to stand up and pull out. Even if my foot is over his shoulder, he stands up and his arm goes right out of the move. So we've got to think about those things when we're doing an omoplata. I need to put weight down on his shoulder and keep his head offset. I don't want his head over mine. Usually what we're doing is we're keeping the knee down, right? I'm not just passing my foot over his face. Oftentimes we see this as a big goal of omoplata, but that is not necessarily just the main goal here, because having the foot go over the face is usually going to leave a big gap if I'm not cautious with my knee. And then again, he'll just yank his arm out. He'll limp arm out and he's out. So what we also want to think about is our knee position. The knee needs to be making weight down on his shoulder so that doesn't happen. He's not able to pull out. If he actually pulls out now, he's going to make it easier for me to pass my leg over, just like this, because of the weight down. So we want that knee heavy pressing on the shoulder. Now we can think about putting our leg in front of his face. And it's just, again, like I said, it's not my foot. You see the integrity, my knee just gets blasted here. It's just my calf. The only thing that really needs to go in front of his face is my calf, right? The only thing this is doing is keeping him from driving his head in. The knee is doing a lot more than the shin in reference to keeping him in this move. So heavy knee, shin goes over the face, and then we can wall out. Then we can bring the bottom leg out. From the omoplata, you need to sit up, but I'm not in a hurry to sit up. So I'm not going to compromise sitting up and letting my legs get light and having him drag his arm out. I'm not going to compromise that. I would like to rather keep my legs heavy and then potentially square up and then sit up. As long as I block his waist, sitting up is what's going to do, is going to lead to the finish, but it's also going to make it so he can't jump over my body. As long as we are prepared to deal with someone going over your body on the omoplata, you don't necessarily need to be in a hurry to sit up. Obviously, our goal is to sit up, but I don't need to struggle and have this side-on position where he can jump over. I prefer to make sure that this right arm gets over his back early. So I'm squaring up and my right arm is ready to catch that, his belt or his back. So if he jumps over, I have some counters ready to rock and roll there. Now, with your legs, do you need to figure four your leg? Absolutely not. It depends on the scenario. Sometimes we'll figure four our legs when he's on the standing position. But generally, when we figure four, we prefer to figure four a little bit lower. Again, if I figure four high up by this knee, you just see there's too much space between the knee and the shoulder. It's going to allow him to sit up. So generally, a much lower, almost cross-leg position will help me keep this knee a little heavier. Once we're able to do that, what we would like to focus on while we're sitting up is continue to drive that shoulder down. So when we get the grip of the back, now we're going to be straightening our leg. We don't need our figure four. I can post my leg to actually start helping me move my hips out. With my hands, I need to focus on keeping his arm on this side of my hip. Absolutely do not want the arm to go on this side of my hip for fear that he can start to posture up and counter me. So the hand, my left hand, its job is to hold and push this into this hip. Your right hand is helping him stop from catch him rolling out, jumping over, and being ready for our defenses. So we pressured that in. Left leg goes, and what I'd like to do when we're hitting omoplata is think about when we're gonna sit up, think about your hips lining up with your opponent's hips right here. That makes it easy for me to sit up. I'm not using a lot of abs. We're able to get up relatively easy. If my hips are under or near his shoulder, it's gonna be a struggle to sit up because the hips are too close to his upper body, and if he sits up, he's gonna put your back on the mat. So take the time to move your body backwards and a little bit to the side, and now you'll have an easy pendulum kick. You'll be able to sit right up and be in good position to start our finishes here, where I'm hugging on the waist. You'll see if you're drilling this at home, you're gonna feel like you're gonna fall over if your hips are too close. So we wanna make sure we move back. I'm a big fan of moving back before I sit up, rather than sitting up and moving back. Okay, that's fine if you need to do that. If you get up quickly, just make sure you move back. I prefer to move back first and then sit up, but it's either one is just fine. Now, I need to hold his wrist here. There's a couple of finishes when we're dealing with omoplata that we'll look at in future technique videos, but namely, I can't have his shoulder off the mat like this. This is no good. It's just helping the flexibility of his shoulder, and it's making my finish much weaker. So we're gonna hold the wrist, and I'm gonna flatten his arm right to the mat. Okay? That now is a finishable omoplata. So we're gonna do this three-step leg fold to get our finish. This first leg is gonna go backwards, but my knee stays off the mat. It's not gonna go flush on the mat. It's gonna stay back off the mat, so I have forward drive. My right leg is going second, and it's gonna fold in. Now the left leg just makes a little puzzle, fits right in the crook of my foot, and now we're ready for our basic omoplata finish. So there's a lot of finish techniques we can use here. Basically, what we want is to bring my head right towards his head in a cross angle type of manner. I don't want to just sit up, but I want to sit up and across his body. Think about touching this knee towards the ground. It won't touch to the ground, but that's what we're going to go for. The omoplata will be both an elbow and a shoulder lock, depending on where I lock my legs or where I have my legs crossed. If my leg here, if my calf is able to get over his elbow, it's going to be a big elbow lock. If it stays, his elbow is free, it's primarily going to go on the shoulder first, elbow second. So depending on what your goal is, that's going to depend on how you fold your legs. Once we're here, again, we're just trying to sit up, press this leg into the floor, and keep his hand here. We come up, and we get our simple omoplata finish. So some things, again, just in review, some things to keep in mind from an omoplata are A, we need the arm over here between our armpit and our hip. B, I need a heavy knee because I want to keep him down and away. I don't want his head over mine. He'll get out of the omoplata relatively easy. Now, we bring the shin over, my calf over, rather than just my foot to keep the integrity of this knee closed. As we bring the bottom knee out, I grab his wrist and I monitor his back so that I can square up, I can move backwards, I can flatten this shoulder out, and then I can pendulum kick to help me up. Once we're here, we're not happy with just this position where we're going to try to sit up quickly. I want to flatten that shoulder to the mat if I can. I'm going to fold my legs back. 1, 2, 3, and now I'm going to come up towards my knee. And that is our most basic omoplata finish. Different technique videos will be looking at different finishes, but that's the primary example of how we finish a generic omoplata.